But she returned again and again to the circus, always alone, gazing intently and solemnly at the gesticulating black figures, an ironical and silently speculative spectator. For she knew that into her plan for her life had thrust itself a suspensive conflict in which were fused doubts, rebellion, expediency, and urgent longings. It was at this time that Axel Olsen asked her to marry him, and now Helga Crane was surprised. It was a thing that at one time she had much wanted, had tried to bring about, and had at last relinquished as impossible of achievement. Not so much because of its apparent hopelessness as because of a feeling, intangible almost, that excited and pleased as he was with her, her origin a little repelled him, and that, prompted by some impulse of racial antagonism, he had retreated into the fastness of protecting habit of self-ridicule. A mordantly personal pride and sensitiveness deterred Helga from further efforts at incitation. True, he had made, one morning, while holding his brush poised for a very last stroke on the portrait, one admirably draped suggestion, speaking seemingly to the pictured face. Had he insinuated marriage or something less and easier? Or had he paid her only a rather florid compliment, in somewhat dubious taste? Helga, who had not at the time been quite sure, had remained silent, striving to appear unhealing. Later, having thought it over, she flayed herself for a fool. It wasn't, she should have known, in the manner of Axel Olsen to pay florid compliments in questionable taste. And had it been marriage that he had meant, he would, of course, have done the proper thing. He wouldn't have stopped, or rather have begun, by making his wishes known to her when there was Uncle Paul to be formally consulted. She had been, she told herself, insulted, and a goodly measure of contempt and weariness was added to her interest in the man. She was able, however, to feel a gratifying sense of elation in the remembrance that she had been silent, ostensibly aware of his utterance, and therefore, as far as he knew, not affronted. This simplified things. It did away with the quandary in which the confession to the dolls of such a happening would have involved her, for she couldn't be sure that they, too, might not put it down to the difference of her ancestry. And she could still go attended by him and envied by others to openings in Kognens Neustoff, to openings in Kongens Nytorv, to showings at the Royal Academy or Charlottenburg's Palace. He could still call for her and Aunt Katrina on an afternoon, or go with her to Magasin du Nord to select a scarf or a length of silk, of which Uncle Paul could say casually in the presence of uninterested acquaintances, pretty scarf, or frock you're wearing, Helga. Is that the new one Olsen helped you with?